Okay guys, so Godzilla is finally out, and as you all know, I'm a huge sucker for giant monster movies. So, let's see how this is. Godzilla. Okay, so Godzilla obviously is the great triumphant return to the king of the monsters. And you know, this film does a really great job of illustrating the fact that Godzilla is the king of the monsters. And, you know, it's hard to review a film I've wanted to see for so long. I remember when they announced that they were retiring Godzilla when I saw the last Godzilla movie, which was, I believe, called Godzilla Final Wars, on DVD, and they announced that they were retiring Godzilla until about the year 2014. And I was like, that's so long, brah. And now it's literally happened, and I've watched Godzilla, and you're sitting there going, wow, this has been so long. And you know, when you see Godzilla, it is the coolest thing ever. I loved all of the movie Godzilla so far. And you know, Bryan Cranston, when isn't Bryan Cranston good in a movie, first off? Secondly, you have Elizabeth Olsen, who's really established herself as kind of like the only Olsen sister not to have a major problem. And, you know, you have that guy from Lincoln who's the voice. He's got this voice that's just cool. And, you know, this film ultimately is a classic throwback to Godzilla. And it's basically, you know, we find an organism. And actually, fun fact for all of you who are just casual moviegoers, I mean, obviously the hardcore Godzilla fans are going to pick up on this, but Ken Watanabe's character, Ken Watanabe is always good, but Ken Watanabe's character plays a guy who's Dr. Serizawa, and Dr. Serizawa in Godzilla the original was the person who develops the oxygen destroyer to ultimately stop Godzilla. And I thought that was a really nice reference. They didn't flat out blatantly, like, you know, I love Marvel movies, but Marvel movies have the problem of where they're like, okay, this is the most important thing you've ever heard of. Cue reference to another superhero you're not going to see for like 5 years. You know what I mean? It's like, Marvel does that, and, you know, that's great. I love that method. But, you know, Godzilla referenced things in their own quiet way, and Serizawa is a perfect example of that, because what if, you know, future installments, Serizawa returns? But ultimately, all of you know I love monster movies, so seeing Godzilla on screen again was monumental. The visual effects of this film are just top-notch. The jiggling of the flesh, the marrow, all of it just worked so well. And the Muto, when I saw some of the leaked toy designs of the Muto, I was really concerned it would look like the Cloverfield monster, and they were just kind of like making Godzilla vs. Cloverfield, which all of you know, Cloverfield's one of my favorite films of all time. But, you know, I really wanted this to be Godzilla. And the Muto has elements similar to the Cloverfield monster, but it's not at all. Nonetheless, it continued. There was a real slow burn to this film, and I'm a sucker, apparently, for slow burn films. But it really just slowly led on. And I love that this wasn't a Godzilla origin story. It's like the concept of Batman. We all know where this character started. We don't need to hear it again. We can just enjoy a movie featuring this character. So when you get this story and out of nowhere, oh, there might be another monster that could cause problems. Out of nowhere, who shows up? It's Godzilla. And you're like, it's Godzilla. And that is the big praise I gotta give it, is they really went gutsy on it and said, we don't need to tell an origin story. I mean, they referenced the origin, and that's all they needed. And, you know, that's fantastic. Do that please, and continue to do that, because Godzilla did it and it worked. Godzilla, it gave me that spectacle that I really was watching giant monsters. The final climax is just so amazing. But, you know, it's like Jurassic Park. When you watch Jurassic Park for the first time, you're like, I have seen dinosaurs. When I watch this Godzilla movie, I have seen giant monsters. It's that effect. And I gotta say, I love it. My criticism for the movie, Godzilla could have been in it a teeny bit more. Godzilla doesn't really appear that much in the film. For those of you who are wondering, Godzilla doesn't appear much, and some of you, that's gonna bug you a little bit. But, you know, to others, it won't. I'd say, you know, no matter what, if you're a fan or not, this must be seen on the big screen. Absolutely must be seen on the big screen. Bryan Cranston, always good. Ken Watanabe, amazing. All in all, you know, I gotta say, as a fanboy, you know what? It's my reviews. It's my choice. This is my favorite film of the year so far. Godzilla is absolutely a 99% for my fanboy rating. I'm actually coming up with a rating style, if you want to call it that. I want to try and come up with something new than just the percentile, because I want it to be like you're getting a grade for your assignment, per se. That's what I started as. And, you know, I kind of want to see what something would be like different. But as a fanboy rating, 99%. This is a flawless Godzilla film in that sense. From a film analytical perspective, I gotta give it about an 80%, because of the fact that Godzilla could have been it a teeny bit more. But you do such a good job emphasizing with Godzilla. Andy Serkis does a little bit of motion capture for Godzilla, and oh my god, you feel the emotion of Godzilla. He looks at some of the characters and you see emotion, and that's amazing. And so, other than that though, you know, could have been a little more Godzilla. There was a lot of teasing and a ton of payoff, but at the same time there could have been a teeny bit less teasing. So I gotta give it about an 80% as a critic. So, you know, it averages about a 90% for just overall between fanboy to critic. And, okay guys, I promise you I will do a spoiler discussion like I used to do with my Breaking Bad videos. I will do a spoiler discussion of Godzilla, but I want to wait a few days to make sure that people have time to see the film, so they don't just click on it and hear like, Muto is blah type thing. You know what I mean? You don't want to be spoiled of the movie. So this is a spoiler for your review. I want you to go out and see this movie. Please go see this movie. I want to see more monster movies on the big screen. We get about 100 billion superhero movies a year. Please let a few more even monster movies happen. Okay guys, and then come back in a few days after you've seen it and let's talk spoilers. So until then, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will keep the videos coming.